Welcome to TV Africa News. Thank you so much for joining us and always being part of us. This is Africa Today. My name is Nahawa Gajura, but first, other headlines. MPs want government to stop schools from increasing fees. Pastor filmed weeping followers in a viral video arrested, remanded over human trafficking. In a sports news today, national team the Cranes all set for Saturday's game at St. Mary's, Chitende. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. We start with one of our top stories. The National Identification Registration Authority has proposed an increase in fees for people who have lost their national identity cards or want to change particulars on their IDs to 200,000 shillings. We have the report. The proposal was made by the Minister of Internal Affairs, Kahinda Otafire, while appearing before Parliament's Committee on Defence and Internal Affairs on the planned mass enrolled of unregistered citizens and renewal of national identity cards exercise. Otafire informed MPs that government plans to use 600 billion shillings for the exercise that will start in June next year and last for 15 months. Otafire added that out of 600 billions, they plan to source 160.4 billion shillings from increasing fees on replacements of IDs from 50 shillings to 200 shillings. According to the minister, the government wants to upgrade the new identity cards to a smart card EID and creation of the personal dignity, digital identity, and will capture DNA's fingerprint, facial recognition, and iris. The chairperson of the committee, Rosemary Nyachigongoro, said that the increment in 200 shillings is too much. Away from that, members of parliament on the Committee of Education and Sports want the Line Ministry to develop a tuition policy for all schools to ease the pressure of school fees rates on parents. Now, the MPs have also voiced strong concern on the increase of fees in government-aided and private schools, especially during a running year.
The MP's concerns raised following a submission by calling North County MP Samuel Opio on the school fees hike in schools across Uganda, presented on Wednesday, 31st of August 2022, during interaction with the committee. Opio cited the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Household Survey of 2019-2020, where net enrollment in secondary schools stood at 27.3% compared to primary school enrollment at 8%. He called on government to offer bursary schemes to each district to support secondary and vocational training for the best performers as a mechanism to strengthen enrollment. Opio noted that fees currently charged by government-aided schools are discriminatory and deny an equal opportunity to every citizen to attain the highest educational standards possible. He also observed that secondary education, in several instances, is more costly than university or tertiary education.
Away from that, police has arrested and charged to court a pastor who was captured on camera whipping followers with a magic blast stick in his church in Hoima in a viral video. In a video captured by one of the followers, Pastor Dennis Chintu was captured lining up and beating church members one after the other inside the church in broad day. We have the report.
The incident has since sparked outrage from members of public, especially social media commentators, who demanded the arrest of the pastor. On Thursday morning, Chintu, lead pastor at Empowerment City Church International in Hoima, was arrested after police launched investigations into the matter. According to the Albertine Regional Police spokesperson Julius Hakiza, in a statement, the events attracted public concern about how the self-proclaimed man of God conducted himself. He said that he was summoned by the District Security Committee, headed by the resident City Commissioner Badru Mugabi, and upon interrogation, he told the committee that what he did was only a demonstration of how Jesus treated those he found selling goods in church. It was also established that the church is without clear documents from the City Authority or Uganda Registration Standards Bureau.
Well, thank you so much, reporter. Moving on in our top stories. One person has been confirmed dead and others left in a critical condition after a building that was under construction collapsed in Kampala this morning. The survivors were rushed to hospital for treatment as authorities investigate the causes of this accident. Take a look at the story.
Authorities in Kampala have confirmed the death of one person following the collapse of a building under construction this morning, leaving others in a critical condition. The accident has been attributed to heavy downpours that left the building prone to collapse. In response, police immediately closed the site and suspended construction for at least 6 months as investigations in the matter continues. KCCA Deputy Executive Director Engineer David Luyimbasi explained that the building is a deep excavation with a potential of collapsing anytime because all sides have vertical deep foundations which are not safe. He further asked investors to act within the law to avoid making losses resulting from such deadly accidents. When asked to explain persistent building collapses that kill a score of Ugandans annually, Engineer Luyimbasi admitted that there is some reluctance in policy implementation, adding that the site is hoarded off, making it difficult to know what is happening inside sometimes. Kampala Central Division Mayor Salim Uhuru Nsubuga extended his condolences to the family of the deceased, thus saying a great mistake was done by the engineers during the land excavation.
Thank you so much, our reporter. We'll take a quick break. We shall come back with our international news. Welcome back for the break. You're still watching TV Africa, the right to know. In international news, in Sudan, a pro-democracy doctors union announced the death of a protester on Wednesday during demonstrations in the capital, Khartoum. Now, so far, 117 people have been killed as a result of the repression of anti-coup demonstrations that regularly denounce the 25th October 2021 putsch led by Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. We have the report.
According to protester Abubakar Saleh, they have been protesting since Burhan's coup last October, and they will continue to protest with the determination and persistence to bring down the coup, despite that many people were killed and thousands were wounded, but protesters insist on continuing the revolutionary path. In early July, General Burhan announced that the army would let civilians form a government on their own, but the main civilian bloc rejected the proposal, denouncing it as a tactical retreat to maintain the army's influence in the country. According to the UN, 1 in 3 Sudanese need humanitarian aid in a country where inflation is close to 200% every month. The currency is in free fall and the price of bread has increased tenfold since the coup.
Away from that, Ethiopia and Eritrean forces on Thursday launched a massive joint offensive against areas of Tigray bordering Eritrea, according to authorities in a rebel region in northern Ethiopia. Take a look at this story. According to the rebel forces command statement, Ethiopia, after repositioning a massive military force in Eritrea, has now launched a joint offensive with the invading forces of Eritrea against northern Tigray bordering Eritrea. The Ethiopian government and rebels in the Tigray region accused each other on Wednesday of opening new fronts in northern Ethiopia a week after renewed fighting shattered a 5-month truce. The possible expansion of the conflict comes a day after a new air raid on the Tigrayan capital Mekelle, the second since hostilities resumed on August 24th in areas of the Amhara and Afar regions surrounding the southeastern tip of Tigray. In a statement issued on Wednesday morning, the Ethiopian government accused the rebels of having extended their offensive to other areas of northern Ethiopia in a work administrative zone in Wolkate, a district of Western Tigray, and in areas of Western Amhara bordering Sudan. Moving on, the International Monetary Fund has granted Zambia $1.3 billion in support as part of an agreement to restructure the massive debt that has sunk the Southern African country's economy. Now, Zambia is in debt distress and needs a deep and comprehensive debt treatment.
The IMF said in a statement on Wednesday that the three-year program aims to restore debt sustainability, create fiscal space for essential social spending, and strengthen economic governance. In 2020, during the pandemic, Zambia became the first African country to have defaulted on its estimated $17.3 billion external debt. IMF Managing Director Kristalina said that sustainable strengthening of fiscal controls is needed to support fiscal adjustment as well as to address governance and corruption vulnerabilities. In addition, growth has been too low to reduce poverty, inequity, and malnutrition rates, which are among the highest in the world.
Away from that, the new U.S. Ambassador John Godfrey arrived in Khartoum on Wednesday. He arrives after a 25-year absence of a U.S. envoy in Sudan due to diplomatic differences between the two countries. Take a look at this story. According to the statement released by Embassy Ambassador John Godfrey, arrived in Khartoum yesterday to be the first U.S. ambassador to Sudan in nearly 25 years. The statement further read that the envoy will strengthen relations between the American and Sudanese peoples and support their aspirations for freedom, peace, justice, and democratic transition. The U.S. closed its embassy in 1996 in Sudan after accusing it of hosting the late Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. Sudan has been in the grip of a wave of population protests since October 25, 2021, demanding the return to power of civilians, rejecting the measures taken by the chairman of the Sovereignty Council, Army Commander Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, who decided on a series of emergency measures considered as a military coup by those who are hostile to him. Al-Burhan dismissed these accusations, stressing that these measures are aimed at restoring the process of the transitional phase and pledged to hand over power through elections or a national consensus. Africa Today takes a quick break. We shall come back with business, health, and sports. Welcome back from the break. You're still watching TV Africa, the right to know. Talking matters business, an oil tanker briefly became stuck in Egypt's Suez Canal on Wednesday night, according to officials, raising fears that last year's major blockage of the global maritime route could be repeated.
The Affinity 5 ran aground in the Suez Canal at 19:15 p.m., according to a security source, adding that maritime traffic had been restored after a short period. According to the Suez Canal Authority, which said 64,000-ton tanker had been successfully refloated, the incident was caused by technical damage to the rudder, resulting in a loss of control of the ship. The Suez Canal Authority said it had quickly mobilized more than 5 towing vehicles for the operation. According to the website Vessel Finder, the 250-meter-long Singaporean flag tanker is headed for the Saudi port of Yanbu. The Suez Canal, a vital portal between Asia and Europe, sees about 10% of the world's maritime trade. Last year, supertanker Ever Given became wedged diagonally across the canal during a sandstorm, disrupting world trade for nearly a week.
In a Health News today, the Minister of Works and Transport, General Edward Katumba Wamala, has pledged the government's commitment towards improving road safety in collaboration with the stakeholders to ensure the reduction of road crashes in the country.
The Minister of Works and Transport, General Edward Katumba Wamala, made the remarks as Prudential Uganda and Prudence Foundation launched the Safe Steps Road Safety Campaign, a public service program aimed at raising awareness about road safety by providing clear and simple life-saving messages on road safety. The two entities will implement this program in partnership with Uganda Red Cross Society, targeting 10,000 border riders within the Kampala metropolitan area, including Kampala, Entebbe, Wakiso and Mukono. The campaign will run for 6 months, starting September 1st, 2022 to February 2023. Wamala said the latest traffic police report of 2021 indicates that 4,159 people were killed and 12,589 were seriously injured in road crashes. He said this was an increase from the 3,663 killed and 8,370 seriously injured in 2020, calling for behavior change among the riders to ensure that road crashes are reduced.
In a sports news today, Uganda national team, the Cranes, are set for the second African Nations and Championship qualifiers at St. Mary's Stadium, Chitenda, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Recently, Uganda played Tanzania at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium and took the first position by the tie.
According to Coach Mitchell, his players are more than ready after spending all their time preparing for the game.
From off-season, we took the players and prepared them very well. We had a fitness phase, we had that match fitness phase with friendly matches, 2 against Ethiopia, 1 against Zanzibar. We had that, and in those matches, friendly matches, we have tried, tested and experimented, preparing the team to sign the document in that match in Dar es Salaam, and fully aware the document is not valid if it's not stamped.
Mitchell also reminded Ugandans to attend tomorrow's game at St. Mary's Stadium, Chitende, and support the boys, hoping that with the support of player number 12, they will get the desired result.
And we shall use anything possible because our target is clear, our target is to qualify, and we shall not allow stone unturned in order that to happen.
The team captain Milton Karisa believes his colleagues had enough time to prepare for the game and asked for the support of Ugandans.
Game yencha era abasambi bannange fenna twetegese okulwanira ggwanga lyaffe enkya era tusaba abawagizi bajje tukwatire wamu kuba wetubeera kimu teri kitasoboka.
The African Nations Championship, abbreviated as CHAN, also known as the Total Energies African Nations Championship for sponsorship purposes, is a biennial African National Association football tournament organized by the Confederation of African Football (CAF) and was first announced on 11th September 2007. The participating nations must consist of players playing in their national league competitions.
Thank you so much for being a low audience from where we started from. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We should keep updating you. It is TV Africa, the right to know.